Hello, this is Jinju at Kimchimari blog. I'm so glad I get to talk to you for the first time. Today, I'm sharing my easy kimchi using the blender. This kimchi tastes exactly as the kimchi I grew up with, mild, refreshing, and amazingly delicious. Okay, so here we have a cabbage. Let's cut the head part off with a knife, and then you'll have some loose leaves. You'll take that away and we'll save that for later. Now we're going to cut this cabbage into half, and we do this by cutting the top 2-3 inches with a knife and then splitting the cabbage in half with your hands like so. This is a great way to cut the cabbage but not create a lot of little pieces that ends up getting thrown away. And then cut it into quarters if the cabbage is really big, like I have here. Now we're going to salt the cabbage in between the leaves with your hand. Take a little bit of the Korean chanilyeom sea salt and sprinkle it down deep all the way where the thickest part of the leaf, the white part, is. Now we're going to make the brine. Add 3 cups of salt to 18 cups of water. Mix it well and pour it over all those beautiful cabbages that we salted in between the leaves earlier. Great way to check if there's enough brine is to push down the cabbages and see if they get fully immersed in the brine. After leaving them in brine for 3 hours, what you need to do is turn all the cabbages over and also take out the ones that are buried underneath to the top and bury the ones that were floating on top to the bottom. So basically you're turning over everything. And then let them brine or pickle for another 3-4 hours. Also, at this point, don't forget to add those big leaves that we set aside earlier so that they get pickled together for the remaining 3 hours of the whole 6-hour brining process. Now here what I'm doing is I'm bending those thickest part of the cabbage to see if they bend easily, and when they do, that means they're ready to be rinsed and drained like so. And we want to repeat this 2 more times, changing the water after every rinse so that they're rinsed in fresh water every time. And let them drain while you get started on the seasoning paste. So to some water, add some sweet rice flour paste and turn on the heat to medium, and keep whisking the mix because otherwise lumps can appear. So keep heating and whisking until it becomes nice and thick, and then let it just bubble for another 30 seconds or so, and then turn it off and let it cool. In a blender, we're going to add some radishes, half an Asian pear, some yellow onions, lots of garlic, ginger, half a persimmon, peel it and add it. Here's some Sandlands fish sauce called ganari ekjut, and some 새우젓, some fermented shrimps. We're going to blend them until it becomes a smoothie kind of consistency. And then to that we're going to add some Korean red chili pepper powder, gochugaru, and some of that sweet, actually all of that sweet rice flour paste, and some salt, sea salt, and sugar, and mix it all up with the whisk, and you will have this wonderful, beautiful kimchi seasoning paste. Now put on some long plastic gloves if you can get, and then take a cabbage that has been pickled in that brine, add some of that seasoning paste, and now we're just going to coat all the leaves. And you don't have to do it for every layer. You can skip a couple. I would do maybe every 2-3 layers, and add more seasoning paste if there isn't enough, and just try to coat evenly and all around, and then turn it over. We're going to add a little bit more of the seasoning, massage all of that in, and turn it over, and maybe add a little more of the, cover it up with the paste. Here's another piece that I'm showing you for the second time. So see how you just coat every few layers of the leaves and cover it all around, and then turn it over and use the outermost leaf to kind of wrap around the cabbage so that they all kind of stay together. Fill a container with all those beautifully seasoned cabbages. Then on top, it's nice to use those big loose leaves that we pickled before, coat them with the seasoning paste and cover the top. And we do this because it's good to not expose the kimchi to the air as much as possible. And then lastly, we're going to make some liquid, and we do this by rinsing that seasoning paste bowl with some water, add some salt, and mix it all around, and then add this as sort of the finishing liquid to the kimchi so that there's enough liquid for the cabbages to be fermented in. And then optionally, what you can also do is in that brine that we pickled the cabbages in, you can cut up some radishes and pickle them in there for about 3 hours. And see how they're all nice and bendable? That means they've been pickled well. So you can sort of insert those radishes in between the cabbages there. So this kimchi has been left at room temperature, 68 to 70 degrees Fahrenheit, for about 2 days, and then in my kimchi refrigerator for about a week. And it is now fully ripened. It looks and smells wonderful. And the best way to cut that is just cut that the root end part off, and then cut the rest like so with a knife, and try to keep them all together. That way it looks more presentable. And remember, kimchi tastes best when it's really cold, so serve it straight out of the fridge if you can. Well, I hope you enjoyed listening and watching my easy kimchi using the blender recipe. Until next time, bye!